So I sewed the glove all together, but what I did was, instead of actually sewing the triggers onto the glove, I realized it would be better to Velcro them. So I sewed pieces of Velcro on each one and stuck the other end on here. That way I can take all these off and wash the glove, because I realized right away it's going to get really dirty and yucky. Haven't really pinned down all the extra wires, but I think it's kind of cool. Okay, so but I still haven't figured out why trigger 9 is misbehaving. It's kind of strange because every now and then it works. It's this one right here. But it's only working like 1 out of 8 times that I hit it, and it's very odd, and it seems to be getting mixed up with trigger number 1. Now I've tested this. It's definitely wired properly. There's nothing wrong with the glove, so I finally decided it must be the other end of it. So, you know, it goes through, gets plugged into this, goes through that whole wire, and then the other end of that gets plugged in to here. So this is kind of like guitar cable. And then this goes right into here. It gets connected to all these 1/4-inch cables inside that box. So I thought maybe I had a couple pins mixed up. Which is kind of strange. I didn't really think of that for a long time, because this does work. This interface to the drum cat works perfectly with something else I built called the Pluto Tar, and I tested it again and it still works. But couldn't think of anything else to try, so I made sure that each one of these 1/4-inch cables, both ends, were going to the proper pins in the same order that we did the glove. And turns out, lo and behold, trigger number 9 had one of the pins scooted over one, so I had actually connected this to the wrong wire. So instead of 18, it was going to 19. It was going to 17 and 19 instead of 17 and 18. So it doesn't explain two things. It doesn't explain, well, why is my Pluto Tar working? And it doesn't explain what the deal is with trigger 1 sometimes getting mixed up with trigger 9. Like I'll hit trigger 1, trigger 9 will go off. I'll hit trigger 9, trigger 1 will go off. But I figured what I'm going to try first, and just see if maybe these other strange anomalies will go away, maybe trigger 1 will start working again, is to just simply connect those 2 pins. So it'll still work with my Pluto Tar. I'm afraid to just switch it to the correct one, because then I'm afraid my Pluto Tar won't work. Just connect the pins. So I have a couple little, tiny little, wherever they went, wires that I can use to connect these. I'm afraid though that if I connect wires here that it won't properly connect with this anymore, like maybe the wires would get in the way. So I think what I have to do is actually open this up, and the wires in there, 18 and 19, connect them together. Maybe I can do this before the students get here. Wish me luck.
Here, Baloney. Can I help out? It isn't hard to get out.
Oh my. Haha. Oh, I forgot I did it like this. I have it all sandwiched. Oh no. I remember now, I had the flu and I was in bed weaving these wires into these little kind of circuit board things. I weaved them in there. I have to undo it so I can show you. It's kind of crazy. It's very, very strong. Yes, I literally weaved the wires in. It was kind of like knitting. It made the time go by when I was sick. Very, very sick. Look. They're all numbered, so maybe I can just look at what the numbers are. See if I can get a clue what's going on here. I had it protected with this foam tape. Okay, there's what the other side looks like, kind of woven in there, and then the back. So there's two layers. The back of each layer just kind of looks like that. I figured instead of just soldering this end to this end and taping it and hoping that it never came apart, this is really reinforced. And I had extra wires coming out, kind of 3 wires together for power and 3 wires together for ground. These aren't hooked up yet, and the tape had fallen off the ends. I'm afraid this might have been touching something. Shouldn't have mattered because these are just coming from different random pins. These aren't really power and ground per se. It has nothing to do with this shielding or anything. On the other hand, there's also a little bit of, if you can see it, a little bit of this shielding, I think might have been the culprit, might have been touching if it was smashed up this way. Maybe somehow making a connection between 1 and 9, which would be entirely unrelated to the fact that 2 of the wrong pins are wired. But that's usually the case. Usually when you're troubleshooting stuff like this, there are at least 2 completely unrelated problems and you have to fix both of them before it will work. You fix one, it doesn't work, you undo it, and then fix the other one, it doesn't work, and you undo it. You gotta fix both. That happens so often. So I'm gonna have to unsandwich this. So I see 17 and 18 are labeled. I probably mislabeled 17 and actually used 19. So we'll see. It's a yucky job, but someone's got to do it. Okay, when you don't have enough hands, that's when these handy clip wires come in handy. Okay, this is 18. I think I said it wrong before. I think I accidentally wired 19 and labeled it 18. Connect that to the multimeter. So let's see. Can you see the screen? Let's see if that connects to, I can't see these numbers, but let's see. It's one of these. Okay, what pin is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ha! My analysis is correct. I wired pin 19 and labeled it 18. But did I do that to the planetar too? That makes no sense. Sometimes stuff doesn't make any sense. Now I have to figure out which one of these wires is wire number 18 for reals. Or it might be one of these wires that I allocated to to power and ground. Oh, I forgot to finish telling you about that. The reason I did the power and ground is because eventually I want to have the buttons on the Pluto tar light up when I hit them. So I have wires going to each button on the Pluto tar already, power and ground. I just haven't figured out a proper blinky light circuit yet. Once I figure that out, I'll make 8 of them and stick them in there. That'll be a fun project. Oh, here we go. Maybe this is when I need that chart that you can get on the internet to see which color is which pin. Or I could just sit here with the multimeter like I always do and figure it out.